is the problem, but level of concern now that we know he's going to miss a third straight game. They got back-to-backs this coming weekend. What you thinking about Nikola?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously concerned. I mean, I think this is kind of one of those blessings in disguise, though. You know, obviously, hopefully, he's going to get right. He's going to be 100% because you look at Nikola Jokic, and you're talking about, I mean, like Steph Curry got hurt last night. He came down, kind of on his back, on his hip. So he's got a hip thing. He's, they're getting an MRI today. Like, you could make a pretty compelling argument that if you don't have Nikola or you don't have Steph or you don't have maybe Giannis or you don't have, SGA, like you got zero chance to win if you're those teams without those guys, right? I mean, Jokic is the best offensive player in the National Basketball Association. And without a healthy Jokic, you have no chance. You're not going to win a series without a healthy Jokic. So, this could be a blessing in disguise. They complained, and Stoke has brought this up. They complained last year about not being fresh enough when the playoffs rolled around. Well, guess what? He's out. Maybe this is that blessing in disguise where they're going to get a little bit fresher because of it.
Well, yeah, I'm just concerned that, what's going on here because Jokic isn't just sitting just to rest. Michael Malone's not resting him because he wants to have him fresh. Something's going on with the ankle. And now it's 3 games. He doesn't miss time. And then the other concern, Mark, for me, and it's not a huge concern here if he gets back healthy, is how much time does he miss and what is that conditioning level like? If he misses another week, and now it's like, okay, now you're getting closer and closer to the playoffs. You got to take it slow and limit him probably when he comes back to a certain degree. I never expected him to miss 2 games. I thought they were just resting him the first game against Golden State. And then now they ruled him out yesterday. So how long is this thing going to go on with the ankle, and how many games is he going to miss? And then he's always in great shape, and now what does his conditioning look like? Now does he have to be on a minute restrictions? So that's kind of where my mind goes, Mark, and because we don't have a lot of info on how long he's going to be out for.
That was always a big question. When I got hurt and had to sit out for a game or two, I had the back injury, had to have surgery in 97 on my back, was out for 27 days. They were really concerned about my conditioning, Stoke, because, I was one of those guys that was really running hard and just really playing at such a breakneck speed, Stoke. So they were always like, how's his conditioning going to be? And I fought through it. Joker will be fine.
How are his 5-yard sprints? How many 5-yard sprints can he do?
Sprint is a little bit of a stretch. I didn't really sprint for 5 yards. How is my get off for 2 yards? Was his get off okay for 2 yards? All right, he's good.
Okay, so Jokic has a good get off for 2 yards. So, Mark, that's an interesting point. Is it because yesterday Stoke said it, and I think it's pretty relevant. I'm of the mind that the seeding for this Nuggets team isn't that important. They're good on the road. They just need to get healthy going into the playoffs. It sounds like you're leaning that way.
I don't care about the seeding. I'm out on seeding. And I understand they were the number 1 seed, and they walked they walked all the way to the finals and won the NBA finals, and it was awesome, and a championship and all that. And I also know that they fought for the 2 seed last year. They got the 2 seed, and they got bounced by Minnesota, and then the Minnesota Timberwolves, got bounced. So, by Dallas. So the bottom line is I'm out on the seeding. I'm out on reading about seeding. You play. If your guys are healthy, you play them. If they need a rest, you give them some rest. And you wherever the seeding falls, it falls, and you just got to go out there and handle your business. You got 7 games to handle it. I'm just out on that. I think the rest and being fresh is more important than the seeding.
Yeah, I'm in on the seeding. And, yeah, I want him rested and healthy and all those things, of course, because last year it seemed like it cost him a little bit. But I think seeding is important here. And you look at where they stand right now and what this looks like moving forward with 12 games left, and you're sitting there at the 3rd spot, but you're only 3 games ahead of Golden State. Now with the Steph injury, how long will he be out for? That's probably going to impact them. But I don't want to sit there and look up and be the 5th or 6th seed. You're only a couple games ahead, 1 game ahead of being in the 5th seed, right there with Memphis. So it's a tight race, and all of a sudden you could look up and be the 5th or 6th seed. That to me is a little bit low. I want to stay in 2 or 3 range, and I think they'll be fine if they're able to do it. But the waters are muddied now because of the injury to Jokic, because you do have to have him fresh and healthy. And so what does that look like moving forward? I think it's a tricky situation here because I'm with Mark. I'm with you, John. I mean, I want these guys ready to go and fresh for the playoffs, but also I do think that this seeding, and you can say they played well on the road during the regular season, but playoff basketball is a different animal.
Yeah, it is, but you go back to even with this team specifically, you go back to the Timberwolves series last year. I mean, they went on the road and took the 2. They went 2 of 1. They were better there than they were in Denver. I don't know what it is about this team, and it's even been this year. They just seem to play better on the road to the point to where I'm just not worried about it. And I think because the Warriors that won it, I think back in 2021, I think the seeding, I don't think they were the top seed, but the playoff experience, the reps that they've had from where I sit with the Nuggets, I just think they've got so many reps. They've been to the top. They're not going to get caught up, and they're not going to be intimidated playing on the road. Mark, you went wild card. What was your guy? I mean, you've done that, started from not the top and gone all the way.
I personally like going on the road. Would I rather play a playoff game at home? Yeah. But I like being on the road with the guys. I just thought that was kind of fun, and us against the world mentality and all that stuff. Is it easier, to win at home than it is on the road? Yeah. Crowd noise, especially as an offensive player, crowd noise is a pain in the ass, and it's hard. But, you don't have that same thing in basketball. I mean, it's not like you can't communicate. It's not like the crowd noise is too loud in basketball. So, again, I just look at it like – if you had your druthers, would you rather be super fresh or have the number 2 seed? Or, I would rather right now be super fresh, plus the 2 seed's going to play what? Number 7.
Can we do both? Can we do both, Mark? How about let's try to do both? Let's win and try to find ways to get guys rested a little bit.
I would love that. That part I would love, Stoke. I would absolutely love that. But if it comes down to if you can't do both, if it comes down to one or the other, I think the rest is more important than than where you're seated.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, because last year we found out that was one of the reasons Michael Malone said that they lost to Minnesota. They were a tired team. I look at going on the road and playing at home. Obviously, you'd rather play at home, like Mark said, but there's an aspect to going on the road that limits distractions, right? You don't have the wife or the girlfriend,
Man, you started with wife.
Or the kids, wah, 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 wah. You don't have those distractions. You got people coming in town. They're staying at the house. They're staying there. You don't have that on the road. It's just you and your teammates, and you're at a hotel, and let's buckle up and go. It's kind of that mentality, us against the world, right? And so there's something to be said about that, where when you're on the road, it's just a different focus than when you're at home and you're dealing with a lot of other stuff rather than just, worrying about playing the game. So I think there's an aspect to it where sometimes going on the road limits the distractions.
Yeah, it sounds like – and one thing that I will throw to you guys here is it sounds like we're all – or from what I hear from both of you, and Mark, I'll start with you, that if the Nuggets are healthy – do you believe this team can make a championship run, and that's why the health? Or is this because some people are of the mind they just don't have it this year, so whatever. But do you believe if they're healthy, and that's why the health is so important, that they can go all the way?
I do. Yeah, I do believe. The only team in the West that feels like they've got a legitimate chance to knock off the Thunder are the Nuggets. And oh, by the way, Nuggets ain't chasing. They're not catching them for that number 1 overall seed. So they're gonna lose home field or home court advantage when they face them in the Western Conference Finals anyhow. So, but they feel like they're the only team that legitimately can hang with or at least challenge OKC because they've been so dominant from the start of the season and up to now. So. They're the one team I feel that way. Obviously, they've got to be healthy. Joker's got to be great. Murray, we've got to have playoff Murray. He's got to play well. But, you add on to, Christian Brown has been really good He's been dynamic. He's an energy guy, plays defense. Aaron Gordon, his his ability to knock down 3 points, 3-point shots. He's hitting 3-point shots at 45% plus clip. Like, that's a difference maker for them. So they've got a legitimate shot. They just have to be healthy.
Yeah, of course. I mean, hey, this team, you get healthy. Okay, let's go. Buckle up. I mean, what are we talking about? This is a championship caliber core. That's what they are. With the group that they have, right? The core four plus Christian Brown, those guys are all champions. They've been there and done that. So if Aaron Gordon just gets healthy and can stay healthy, Jokic, same thing, Jamal, same thing, all right, let's go and have some fun. The narrative out there that, this season's over, it's a wrap, they don't have a chance. They don't have a chance? Are you kidding me? Of course they do. Look at their starting five and the games, the big moments that core has played in, and then also do we forget we got Jokic, the best player in the world, right? I mean, we got him, so I think it's kind of, I don't want to say gotten out of control, but all of a sudden we just kind of we're talking about the Avs. You know, which team would possibly be our championship team? And we'd say it's probably the Avs have a better chance, right? But man, let's not sleep on the Nuggets. But they do need to be healthy and fresh heading into the playoffs. And there are some concerns there, obviously, with Jokic and Murray and then Aaron Gordon's injuries throughout the year. But, man, let's not sleep on the Nuggets. I mean, we can't forget about what they did just a couple years ago.
No, we can't. And Mark, real quick, too, had breakfast ball up today. You guys touched on a really big NBA milestone. Bronny James passed Ben Simmons in career three-point shots made.
6-5 right now. Bronny James is crushing Ben Simmons.
It's just we'll all remember where we were when Bronny James passed Ben Simmons.
That's right. He knocked down. He had 17 points last night. Bronny did, and they lost by 40. So, or something.